So you may recall that Gearbox bought Randy Pitchford, who is, of course, owner of Gearbox, co-owner, bought the Duke Nukem IP outright when 3D Realms could not get that game out, could not get Duke Nukem Forever done. Randy came in, all right, I'm buying this, and I'm finishing it, I'm putting it out. Because he, of course, started his career in the video game industry as a level designer on Duke Nukem at 3D Realms. So I love the fact that he was able to go back and own it. I think that's great. I think there's probably nobody better to own that than someone who it clearly means that much to him.
Yeah.
So they agree to partner up with the now former owners, 3D Realms, and they were making some game called Bombshell, which was loosely tied in, but not to Duke. And then 3D Realms was like, hey, no, we can totally use this. And Gearbox was like, no, we bought it.
This.
I don't. What are you saying? And so it finally just settled. It was a mediated settlement. They'd gone to court. Gearbox had sued them.
Yeah.
So, hey, we bought that. F you.
Yeah.
Have some lawyers. So
Have some lawyers.
They had a mediated settlement, and Gearbox has been declared the, quote, full and rightful owner of the Duke Nukem IP.
The 3D Realms statement, if you go read this news story on IGN, the 3D Realms statement, it sort of plays out there like, yeah, we just decided to do what's best for Duke, and we think it's best with just one parent. And I'm imagining that statement with like a gun to the head directly off frame.
Like in The Dark Knight when the when Joker has the newscaster and he's making him read the thing off.
Yeah, this is interesting, though. I'm curious to see what comes of this because, I mean, we know Battleborn is currently the focus at Gearbox, and then slow pre-production on Borderlands 3.
Yeah, they've teased it a couple times.
Yeah, and then we had the Brothers in Arms story that we talked about a month ago or so. So
that's laying low.
I mean, that's a big studio, but yeah, I'd be curious to see what what this generation of a Duke game would be. And
Randy teased it when he first bought it as, there was the rumor that there was a Duke Begins project in the works where, I don't think it was a reboot more, but kind of an origin story riffing on, again, the Batman thing. Yeah. I don't know why they keep naming Duke Nukem games after the Batman
things. Duke Nukem and Robin.
Bringing back the Marty dry heave.
Throw up on
But man, I'll tell you what, if this project ever comes to fruition, I would love to see Randy Pitchford step back into the project lead chair.
Like as a creative.
Yeah, as the creative director. He doesn't really work on the games anymore in a sort of day-to-day capacity.
Borderlands
he runs
1,
the studio.
I think was
that?
He had a major creative role on 1. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
But yeah, just because it's so near and dear to him and he bought it, like I would love to see him sort of, it's almost like the father passing it along to the son. Yeah. The family business, as it were. Yeah. I'd like to see his take on it and see exactly what he personally would do with the game.
Yeah, I feel like you could make a really interesting satire if the right person handles the script. Whereas like you can't just do the same thing you did in the 90s with strip clubs and lines from They Live. Yeah. Once Roddy Piper died, you can't do They Live lines anymore.
I really don't know what
to the king, baby.
I loved Duke so much as a kid, and now I've definitely outgrown it. And I just genuinely don't know what I would want from Duke Nukem now, because I think the appeal of that game is the sort of the way it connects to somebody who's young and thinks that stuff is funny, because it is when you're that young. But
So
I don't know, like, if it's meant for me anymore.
I see it a different way. The humor sort of was a nice sort of perk with the original Duke 3D.
Right, it was totally a good shooter.
But for me, I think what Duke Nukem did and sort of stands for, and what I would want to see out of it if it did come back, was just pushing the limits of interactivity in a shooter. You could interact with the world to such degree for the time in 1996 with Duke 3D that didn't really end up paying off and forever by the time it came out.
Like getting a soda from a vending machine or like flushing a toilet.
But I'd love to see sort of that be the thesis of a design for a new Duke Duke game.
Well, especially with if you keep like level design in mind, like being able to change the environment by interacting with it is really interesting, as opposed to I flushed a toilet and turned the sink on.
Right, and
like that stuff's inconsequential.
So we want the Fulbright company.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Well, you've just pointed out that they're busy, so maybe they find somebody to do it for them.
After Tacoma, they can move straight on.
Steve Gaynor taking a drastic tonal turn.
There's no combat in the new Duke Nukem game. It's Duke Begins. It's before he picks up a gun.
He goes to his childhood home and he's reflecting on
he's
the man he's become.
He's a struggling actor.
Yeah,
he's not taken up arms yet.
His sexual awakening. I can get behind all this. That would probably be the most surprising news story I would ever read. I can't think of a weirder, unless it's like Genova Chen's Duke.
It's like the final scene. It's first person. It's young Duke sitting at a desk, and he's thinking about it. Hail to the prince. Strike through. Hail to the Duke. No, that's my name already. Just steps through that. Hail to the Squire. Oh, we're getting warmer.
I'm just imagining your voice is just like, you made me bleed my own blood.
Hail to the king. There, I've got it.
Eureka.
I like this subdued Duke.
Yeah.
Well, remember, it's before he's... It's like It's like, remember when Barry Bonds was skinny and had a head the size of a normal human being?
Yeah.
it's like, so it's pre-roids Duke,
Yeah.
where so even the voice is a little more subdued.
Duke at college, he's like a poetry major. He's like in drum circles.
He's in the drama. He's in the drama school.
I don't drink. I practice abstinence.
He's straight edge.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I would legitimately love all of this.
Let's get tested before we get together, baby, just to be on the safe side.
She's like, that's not very cool, Duke, and just bounces.
She's like, I'm out of here. What kind of college party is this? It's like, but wait.
I'm totally behind this, Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let me buy you a sparkling water from the vending machine. Let me buy you a vitamin water.
This is the Duke I want. This is the Duke I can get behind.
Does Steve Gaynor listen to the show? Because he needs to start.
Duke, we could do this, Steve.
Oh, we can do this.
If we almost got that Blinks the Time Cat game out of Kathy, that didn't work, but we can get this to happen.
Send all your tweets to Randy Pitchford and Steve Gaynor on Twitter.
Yes. Let's make the marriage happen.
Duval Magic and Also, speaking of Randy Pitchford, you need to watch this video on our site. Richard Bearpark, who's one of our video whizzes in the UK, is a magician.
You might say he's a video wizard.
He is a video wizard, and he has a video with Randy Pitchford, who is also a magician, at Gamescom, where the two of them have a magic off, and it is weird.
So it's Zoolander, but with magic.
The two of them are doing like sleight of hand things, and I'm like, what is happening?
How do you decide who wins?
Yeah. No.
I guess I should watch the video.
Yeah. It's one of them. Randy just pulls out a wand and kills. It's like, wait, that spell from Harry Potter is real.
Bearpark is
it's like what's the Christian Bale Hugh Jackman movie?
The Prestige.
It's the end of it's like the end of that movie.
Like, it's just a pile of bear parks.
Spoiler alert.
A pile of bear parks. I don't know if that could spoil a movie. That's just a weird sentence that, you understand it if you saw the movie, but if you didn't, I don't like a pile of bear parks.
That's going to be how I resolve every spoiler. And then, the end of Game of Thrones, well, a pile of bear parks.
Oh, man.
A Red Wedding, pile of bear parks.
Do you think a pile of bear parks is still alive?
Okay.
What the hell just happened?